not exactly hidden. "Hello," the chief of security asks and sighs. "A phantom? Okay, so that's 3 reports of ghosts, 2 phantoms, a spirit and a generic haunting. Is there anything you're trying to report to me beyond a horrible feeling of danger that fades away as quickly as it comes and leaves behind no evidence it was anything other than paranoia?" She listens to the complaint and then hangs up with a sigh of disgust, not noticing that her loud complaint had been exactly what was needed to lure in a tiny insect imbued with the power of the bright forest. In the forest itself, Imigar grins as he's the first to find what has to be the main security chamber. Weapons on the walls, hundreds of screens being observed with a computer algorithm scanning every face in view. Hell, there's a fridge with energy drinks in it too. This is a gold mine. No, not a gold mine. This is a gold repository with all the pallets already loaded up and ready to go in big diesel trucks that don't even drive stick, and the keys are in the ignition. Fucking jackpot. Imigar notes to himself as he directs the tiny insect around to scout the room. There's not a lot of places to hide, but right behind the monitors is a thin maintenance hallway with access to all the cables, and after his little fluttering eyes gives him the all clear, he's suddenly behind the computer bank with his little friend on his nose. He crouches down and quickly finds the input cables linking all these computers together and remembers the instructions that Bike gave to him as he hooks things in. The door is booted open, and he is gone with only a tiny fluttering insect as the only trace he was ever there as an intruder in that room. "Oh, what is it now? Oh no, air! How horrible!" the chief of security exclaims right behind the precognitive security guard. "But there was danger here! Bloody knives and plasma blasts!" the guardswoman exclaims. "Where are they then? I felt nothing in the axiom. Did anyone else?" the chief demands, and there's a chorus of no's in the room. "I thought not. But, boss, but nothing! There is nothing there! I don't know what the hell is going on with you idiots, but it ends now. Go to medical!" the chief orders, and back in the bright forest. Imigar laughs. "All right, ladies," Chief Brui calls out. "We've gotten a big break on our infiltration front of the supple satisfaction. A direct data feed from their main security mainframe. It's one way only, but it's enough for us all to start making a list of all the women we need to have in chains. Now, I know you haven't been sitting on your hands, so tell me, who are our other movers and shakers?" "Ma'am, we've found Miss Red, Miss Green, and Miss Yellow," one of the girls calls out. "Front and center girl. It's not something that should be shouted out, ma'am," the hacker in question states before clopping down on their carib hooves. She passes over a small data chip, and after a moment's hesitation, Chief Brui plugs it in. The screen comes out and Chief Brui's mouth goes dry. Miss Red is Councilwoman Liadra Drevik, Mistress of Commerce for the sector. She hadn't actually expected to need to arrest someone that high profile. The next 2 aren't much better. Miss Yellow is Lois Amaraga, the owner of a massive transportation conglomeration that had its main base on Lilb Tulelb. Not as much official authority as Councilwoman Drevik, but it was her haulers and tugs that brought in over half the planet's food. Finally, Miss Green is Admiral Brenda Saberhagen, the Feely Admiral of the 3rd Sector Defense Fleet. That's the one that really scares Chief Brui. The defense fleets were known to be tight. If she's in on it, then it may go to the higher-ups, and any one of the 30,000 women in charge of running the 10 warships of the 3rd Sector Defense Fleet. Okay then, we have seen the face of evil. Now I want evidence. As much as you can in as clear-cut a variety as you can manage. No ifs, no ands, no buts. These are the higher-ups, and it's pretty easy to see who is in control of what. We have the landowners, we have those that target and shift the children. We now need the receipts, and not in circumstantial format. Hard evidence, preferably in public format. "Any other miracles, Chief?" Roger asks, and Chief Brui groans. I need this all kept on the down low. Drevik alone is a catch so huge we might not have the power to process her. There will be consequences for Amaraga's arrest no matter how well it goes, and Saberhagen may very well decide that violence is the answer and kick off a war. I want all of you to be careful. Don't even blink at someone outside of this room without thinking clearly and carefully. I need to consult with our allies. What about the other players? Shrikatalan is still planning something and there's active recruiting happening as we speak. The situation is fluid. Very fluid. Chief Brewy agrees. Be careful, ladies. I'm going to speak with our allies. We're going to need to tweak our estimation on what's going on upwards. Local politics, military, big business, big money of all sorts, as well as fashion and lawmaking. When corruption runs aground, it certainly infests all it can. Pukey notes as he grimly looks over the files that Police Chief Brewy brought to him. This is bad. Very bad. Any one of the Third Fleet ships is a straight match for the Chainbreaker, even with Air Farce at the helm. All three of them will rip us apart. Direct conflict will not solve this, Pukey states. But if we do this anyway but by the book, then I think we can safely put the book aside at the moment. No official ever willingly pens a law that facilitates their own removal from office for gross misconduct and criminal behavior. True enough, Chief Brewy states before sighing. I know that a look that morose means there's more bad news. Just get it over with. We don't have enough people to hit everyone at once. There are a huge number of guards, customers, pimps. Effectively, everyone involved is guilty in some level or another, and we literally do not have the logistics for a successful sneak attack. Even if your entire police force is uncorrupted and no one's on the take, we don't have enough personnel to get everyone. And if I call in the other precincts, mine is just a primary administration precinct over one of the most populated cities on the world. If I bring in the others, what do the numbers look like then? We need 10,000 more people for a successful operation. We need those people to work perfectly with us and cooperate every step of the way. If I can get you those people, what are they doing? What's the plan? We're still figuring it out, but we need an enormous number of people to move fast in order to detain as many people as possible as fast as possible. Hit them with some bright forest mushrooms and then the entire topography can just sit on everyone and keep them pinned, safe and ready for processing. That's it? You just need a large number of teams rushing in and slapping people into handcuffs? Yes, the finer details are more finicky. Pukey is then cut off as Vernon walks in. Can I help you? I've just had a brainstorm on how to make my part of the plan more efficient. I'm going to need to borrow a lot of Kutha, though, Vernon states. How much? Pukey asks. 50 pounds. What are you doing with 50 pounds of Kutha? I'm going to make a master control pillar for the other pillars in miniature. A massive staff that controls the pillars. I'll need to calibrate it, but I should be able to take complete control of their axiom advantages the second we start rather than run around in a rush and possibly fuck up subverting them in a 10-minute window, Vernon says, and Pukey nods. Go back down that hallway until you reach the armory with the Delta insignia on it. On the far wall is a hidden switch between and below the Undaunted and the Delta symbols. There's more than enough Kutha trade bars in there. Pukey informs him and receives a crisp salute from Vernon in response. After Vernon leaves, Chief Brewy turns to Pukey in surprise. Just like that? You trust him that much? Vernon is an Undaunted. Like me, when he has a mission, his entire being is focused on it. I trust him to do his job, and his job is to nullify any and all axiom advantages our enemies have. So that means they're as good as down, and if he needs 50 pounds of Kutha to do it, then I'll give him 100 in case he has a flash of revelation partway through the project. But how good is he? Chief Brewy asks, and Pukey smirks. There are 4 major branches of Undaunted axiom use. They're divided into 2 big categories, Standard and Technomancy. Standard is what we find out in the galaxy. self-enhancement, the empty hand, sorcery, things that were not invented by us, for us. Although we do count sorcery as a fairly unnuanced branch, so it's considered a full half of standard. What's Technomancy? It's what Vernon does. He's one of two major axiom users we have. He represents the fine control and technical aspects of Technomancy. I guarantee you that if we were to watch him work, we would see the Kutha shift in his hands to take whatever form he desires. He is extreme precision. And the other half? Sheer force. The usage of cause and effect to create massive axiom constructs in the blink of an eye. Our master of that technique is capable of initiating boarding actions against an enemy ship anywhere in a system. He just needs its general position, and he can get a kill team onto its bridge in just a few moments. And what great secret lets you do this? Chief Brewy asks, not expecting an answer. A style of axiom use that allows absurd precision or absurd power. No way it's a simple concept. Everything is made of energy, my dear police chief. To Franklin, that means everything is an explosion waiting to happen and fuel for more explosions. It also means that since everything is energy, there's no real problem moving it either. To Vernon, who you saw there, it means that since everything is energy, then it's all just the same thing in different shapes. So one thing can be anything and anything can be what he wants it to be. And since it's all energy anyways, then why bother putting in so much effort to move it all? It wants to move, just let it. But that, I know I can't fully wrap my head around it either, but it makes sense to those men, and they outright twist the known fundamentals of axiom use around them like toys. Where's the other one? This Franklin. About a third of the way across the galaxy. We don't want him here anyways. If Vernon is a surgeon's scalpel cutting precisely where you need it, then Franklin is a power saw. He'll eat through anything, but once you get him started, you better hope that what he's ripping apart didn't need a delicate touch. I see. There's something wrong? We haven't breached the holding cells yet. Not fully. Something is going on, and it has me concerned. I refuse to act until we can be sure we're getting the children out of harm's way. They're the important part of this. The criminals can be hunted down later and thrown in a pit or dragged into a cell as appropriate. But if we can't rescue the children, then Pukey trails off. You have a different idea from the sorcerers. Do I? Pukey asks. Oh yes, many of them are more focused on punishing the guilty over helping the innocent. She says, and Pukey shrugs. So long as it doesn't drive them to punish the innocent in an attempt to hurt the guilty, I don't see much of an issue with it. We need people who are willing and eager to charge down the evil. Pukey says as he considers and then smirks a little. I may have an idea on how to get to Admiral Saberhagen. I'll need to do some research of my own, though. About what? The captains under her. I'll need to speak to all of them.